you make a change in the mind, the body will benefit. If you make a change in the body, the mind will benefit.
It's because every sickness of the body, let's say, is connected with a psychological state of mind. Very simplified.
In a very simplified way, but yes, it's a total connection between when you... again, you could explore how people think of health and how they think of sickness. And whether you are focused on health or sickness. You know, some people are only, they become to an extent identified with their issues. Oh, I am this. Mm-hmm. And so that's a very powerful little phrase, I am this. Yeah. It's not I have this, or I have this at certain times in my life, but when I am this, it has become an identity. And sometimes this is simply the issue. When it stops being an identity, often this is healing enough.
The soul and being is a very big thing to put it behind a small I am.
Yes.
So if I found a common thing in between those seminars. They are working both, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, with a belief system that may be very possible most of us built it in a wrong way.
Yes.
In a wrong.
Wrong is that,
right
you
word.
Pick up your own word there. In a way, I don't feel when I work, and from an NLP point of view, the evaluation of right and wrong is never part of the equation in these workshops. It's just how do people get the result they get? How do they create a sense of ill health or limited health? And how would they create something better if they had a choice? Because presumably they would come to the workshop because they feel as though they don't have any choice, because this is unconscious patterns of behavior, unconscious patterns of creating ill health. Not wrong nor right, just that's how they do it. And if they don't like how they do it, the workshop is a methodology of changing how they do it to something better.
A way towards to be more unlimited.
To be, yes, to be unlimited, to be more of how you would choose to be if you could run your life, rather than have it run by patterns of behavior that were set up and that have since kind of gone underground and are running.
So many.
Yes, but what you find is that often if you move one sort of network of associations at a deeper level, then many other things have to shift and change. It's like when you knock over a domino, everything else begins to go. So people often find in a workshop like this that they will make some changes somewhere, and they will find that those changes knock on into other places. Mm-hmm. It's a kind of geometric progression in many ways. Not always, but this is often the case.
So it's nice for somebody who wants to change things.
To make a change make a fundamental change in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Great.
For the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
For the better. Yeah.
And about the joint release, I would like a few words.
Okay, well, joint release, I love joint release very much. It's something I've been doing for a long time, since 1989.
I had some sessions in the radio, and suggest them,
Yes, it's very nice work. It's very respectful work. And the beauty of the work with the joint release is that it doesn't just work on the body. And it's like these other, the way I work is that I like to work on all the different levels together. So when you work with joint release, what you're doing is you're feeding in a state, really, a state of feeling good in your body. And when you feel good in your body, then it's very easy to be healthy. With the joint release, I mix in some NLP and some hypnotic mild suggestions, which I have sort of gathered from the client as they come in. They're not my suggestions, they're actually their suggestions on what they want. Because when they do a joint release session, they do go into a place of, not always, but most of the time, of deep relaxation, where it's very easy for them to make a change. And so I like to make the change that happens in the body connected to the change that happens in the mind and the whole being. The actual structure of a session is that there's a lot of rocking and shaking and stretching movements. there's never, or should never be in a session, any sense of an intrusion, a physical intrusion where the muscles of the body need to make a defense. I stay away from that.
It goes with the flow.
It's very much, it's like a dance throughout the whole body. There's lots of movement. And if while I'm working with somebody I find that they don't move there very easily, then I don't go there. I respect that actually that's not a place they feel very good in, so I won't go. I won't make them feel their pain or something like this. It's sort of quite a positive way of working.
And maybe it's not the time for them, they don't give the space to be working this.
Absolutely. The focus in a joint release session is resourcing people. In fact, with all the work I do, the focus is very much to resourcing people rather than taking them into their pain. Sometimes it's necessary to go into their pain or whatever therapeutically people like to call it, and in fact we do that, but the basic direction is to resource people on how to live a better life. And with this thing that maybe it's not right for them to go there at that moment, what often happens is if you don't go there and you move somewhere else and play around somewhere else where they feel perfectly okay with, when you go back to that other place, they very often open up and allow a more beneficial experience to happen when you work there. It's more relaxed. They can let go because they know that you're not going to, it's not a fight.
Yeah.
It's about trust.
And anyway, if you fight a sickness or something,
it tends not to. People always say they battle with cancer. I always feel this is it's a very interesting imagery that people use, particularly with cancer. They've been fighting cancer, they're battling with it. Yeah. And I always, I'm not an expert on cancer, but from somebody who is in the healing professions, it's not the approach I would take. I would learn to find out how it's created, what the setup is, and how all parts of your beings would want to change.
All right. So, thank you very much. It was very beneficial for me also.
Okay, well, thank you.
The right and wrong thing from this interview. And we'd love to do the workshops with the abundance, and maybe in February the healing yourself after you come back from India.
Yeah, that would be very good. Thank you very much. Thank you for the interview.